There we go. Jesus, why does this thing do that? I don't know. Good old Streamlabs. Turning off my mic and putting the different default settings. I don't know why it does that, but it does it every now and again because it's just like keeping me on my toes. Keeping me on my toes. What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Film Junkee Live on Monday, February 3rd. That's right. Jays, hopefully you paid your rent. Get it in. I know they always give you that 3-day grace period, so make sure you pay your rent today. So good to see you guys. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Hit that like, thumbs up. Become a member if you want to become a member. That'd be great. You know, if you want to support the channel or, you know, be part of the Patreon. You can do that too. So, much appreciated, guys. How we doing out there? Let's see who's out there. What's going on? We got Ryan right here. Good to see you, buddy. We got Game City Savior. Hey, Dave, it's like clockwork. Superman has to have a lawsuit every decade. Yeah, it's always going after Soupy Pants, man. I tell you what. We got Versus Seat Dave. Seeing Andy's article about Tyler Hoechlin, David Cornsweat reaching out to him. Yeah, don't worry. Gonna talk about that, of course. So appreciate it, Versus Seed. But yeah, definitely gonna be talking about that. That little quote right there, so always great. Taladia Plays, always great to see ya. We got Eric, Mr. Hardboiled Entertainment. What is happening? Mr. Fear Jason, always great to see you, buddy. And we got RJ, what is happening, my friend? Good to see ya. Music Man, what's up? We got Axel Droga right here. We got Mr. Nobody. How's it going? What's going on with Blue Beetle? Well, I'm going to tell you when we get to it. Well, you know, little update when it comes to Blue Beetle, you know, so... Jacob, I can hang for a bit, but I got plans to see one of them days in a bit. Well, geez, well, sorry. You know, well, I'm glad you can hang for a little bit there, Jacob. But, you know, hopefully, I mean, if you have plans, I mean, what? It sounds like you got a little bit of a date going right there, so... Yeah. What's going on? Let's see, RJ. I'm very excited for the Fantastic Four trailer. Hope you get a good look at The Thing and Galactus. Jeez, RJ, you want to get a good look at The Thing? All right. That was an obvious joke. I'll be watching the trailer right before I go to work. For you, I know. We'll talk about that. We'll definitely talk about that. So, yeah. Hey, good old Ninja Gamer 13. What does it got to say? This time, I've noticed that even the bitter group of Snyder fans seem to like the Batman now. So if Gunn delivers, maybe the DCU will be able to pull off the same. And then fandom will finally be able to unite. Okay, there you go. Very reasonable thought right there when it comes to what's happening right now in Ninja Gamer. I appreciate that. It is kind of weird because, yeah, they did, you know, I've seen some people change their tone, you know, the diehard Snyder fans, because back in 2021 to 2022, they did not. There was the more diehard ones did not accept Matt Reeves' Batman and did not accept Robert Pattinson as well. They were very much obsessed. I had a lot of exchanges with dudes, which is always a very weird thing about another man's physique. Yeah, Robert Pattinson's physique, and they were not having it. And they had huge boners, of course, for Ben Affleck's physique over Robert Pattinson's physique. It was kind of interesting, but hey, what can you do? Yeah, I definitely did. Yes, I did. Versus Seed. I got a haircut last week, so that's always great. Let's see, what else? Who else we got here? We got Antonio. What's going on? Mr. Baker. We got Lane. Hope you're in great shape. Hey, you know, always keep it up. Got to keep this girlish figure of mine, Lane. No, I'm doing good. Did you see that Nirvana reunion that happened last week? Hello. I know you're more of a Nirvana fan than Foo Fighters. Yeah, that happened at the, and I'll bring up the video. There's a video that, I had it on my Twitter, so when we get to the tweets, we'll talk about that. But yeah, a little Nirvana reunion that happened last week for the Fire Aid concert that happened over in LA, which, man, great stuff. Oh, the date might be tomorrow. I want someone else to see Companion, so I need to see one of them days and get out of the way. Oh, okay. Yeah, Companion, perfect date movie. It's a good date movie. I mean, I guess. I mean, yeah. I mean, it has to do with relationships and all this kind of stuff and all that dynamic. I mean, you've already seen it, Jacob. But, yeah. I mean, hey, it is a good date movie. Definitely. We got Stephanie T right here. Always great to see you, Steph. So yeah, that's right. You saw it. Oh yeah, heartwarming, especially having Violet Grohl. Yeah, we'll bring up that video because I posted it on Twitter, but it was really awesome. I was wondering because I kept hearing, and it's great that these artists were like, hey, we're gonna all get together and raise money and everything, and they broadcast the whole concert live. It was on TikTok, it was on YouTube, it was all free for everybody to watch. And, everybody had they only, not everybody was playing like a full, set list. It was just like, hey, play about 5 songs or whatever. And I was kind of wondering, I was like, especially with all the controversy that's happening with Dave Grohl, and you guys know he's my rock and roll Jesus. Been a fan of that man since 1995. So, but he's had a little personal issues that's come up. So when it came to Foo Fighters, I was wondering if there was going to be something there. But Nirvana Reunion, that's pretty cool. Which I've seen that Nirvana Reunion. I saw it. Cal Jam. They did the Cal Jam festivals. They brought back the Cal Jam festival for 2 years, only 2 years, and I went to both of them. The Foo Fighters did headlining, and then they decided to do 1 year. They did a Nirvana reunion and have different singers come up and sing different Nirvana songs. So definitely have seen that live, which is great, which is absolutely great. So good stuff. What's going on, Indiana Jake? Good to see you, brother. All right. And then, of course, guys, okay, so we got a new week, and I'm trying to keep up with this as much as possible. Sometimes I forget, but executive producer of this week when it comes to Film Junkee Lives, DC Fanimated, and Vodka Stream, we got Jacob Salas, who's the executive producer for these streams. That's right. So, yeah, Jacob is a supporter on the Patreon, so that's what I do. So if you want to be an executive producer, hey, I'll try to get around to you. And, every week I try to do somebody different. Sometimes things get a little too crazy and I forget about it, but didn't forget about it this week. So thank you, Jacob, for being a supporter, and you are the executive producer. Is that you? Okay, that's you. Okay, why is I thought your name is Jacob. What the hell, man? What the hell, Jacob? I thought that was you. I didn't know that was you. You have a different name than you have right here. Hey, we got Mama Film Junkie. Hey, Mama Film Junkie is out there. Hey, good to see you, Mom. Love you. Good to see you. Might be hitting you up this weekend for some boxes. That's right. If you have some extra boxes, I might have to hit you up. And hey, thank you. Yeah, we got Darren right here, becoming a member. Good to see you, buddy. Mr. Laugh Now, Cry Later. But yeah, I might be hitting you up this weekend for some boxes. I don't know if you guys heard. I did talk about it on the vodka stream, but yes, I am moving in 2 weeks. 2 weeks, I'll be moving to a new location. Good location. I'm actually moving in with brother Film Junkee for, temporarily. It's going to be, not like a super temporarily, but for a couple of years, maybe 2-3 years or something like that. It's a house, lots of space, 4-bedroom, 2-story house, and plenty of space, so we won't get in each other's hair. And yeah, looking forward to it. Getting out of this apartment, which I've lived here for 6.5 years, pretty crazy. So, so I'm gonna be moving in 2 weeks soon, and 2 weeks. That's very soon. But I don't have that much stuff, so it's not going to be that much of a struggle to move out of this place. But yeah, finally getting out of here. Finally, yes, I'm moving, Music Man, finally. Yeah, I know you have extra boxes, Mom. That's why I was like, you know what, I might need a couple of extra boxes, so might have to hit you up this weekend, maybe on Saturday or something like that. Oh yeah, I definitely will miss. I'm definitely gonna have emotional things when it comes to leaving this apartment, because I've lived here for 6.5 years. Went through the whole, apocalyptic fucking virus that was roaming around. Went through a lot of things. I've only done Film Junkee Live here. I think I've only done vodka streams here. Crazy. A lot of things happen here. A lot of memories in here. So it is going to be a little bit of like, I didn't realize. I was like, damn, I've lived here that long. So, but no, it's gonna be a good thing, because I've just been wanting to get out of this location for sure where I live right now. I'm like, I'm just kind of tired of it. And when my brother brought up that opportunity to get out of here into like a nice little neighborhood in a house, and I was like, all right, I think this could work. So. Will you be going to the same movie theater? No, I will not be. Yeah, I know, the plumber. And then, of course, everybody wants to bring up the plumber, that whole plumber thing. I tell you, I'm going to have to like go back and find that stream and just like clip it out and bring it back. Maybe I'll do like a memory thing when it comes to that. But no, Darren, when it comes to the movie, no, it's like 2 towns over. 2 towns? I don't even know if it's 2 towns. It's about it's further south. I mean, there's not really much when it comes to going that way. That's why I'm like, technically it is 2 towns over. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. It's just further south. It's actually closer to Mama Film Junkee. So I'll be, of course, more weekly, dinners with Mama Film Junkee, which is great. Always love having dinner with her, and spending time with her. So it'll be a lot easier to go to her house and everything. And of course she'll be, I'll also finally I can maybe I'll cook something for Mama Film Junkee for once. Jeez, So we'll switch back and forth and stuff like that. So that's good. But no, it won't be the movie theater that's right around the corner from my house. Sadly, I think this week is going to be the last time I actually might go. I think I'm just going to go see, I'm going to see Love Hurts this week. And I don't think anybody wants to go see that. Unless my dad wants to go see this movie. I don't think he does. He's all about Captain America. So I think this might be the last time I go to this movie theater right here. And I mean, it might not be the full-on last time, but yeah, it's not close enough to that. There's a whole other movie theater that I'll be going to over there. So, yeah. Yep. Should be good. Should be good. See, Mama Film Junkee's happy. That was also a good selling point too, So should be good times. And yeah, man. Looking forward to it. Like I said, it was time. It's time to move out of here, and looking forward to it. But anyways, guys, I'm rambling too much. And what's going to be interesting too is like, I'm wondering how much my brother would actually want to be part of videos and stuff. That's what I'm kind of wondering too, and then I plan on doing, another thing too is like having the extra space. There's so much more space. Obviously I'm just a 1-bedroom apartment, not much space here, not a lot of space to do things. So now that I'm going to have the extra space, I'm like going, fuck, I can actually get back to doing like some sketches, some skits, do some things. And if he's around, I can have him, be my cameraman, or if he wants to be a part of it, That's what I'm just like, that was things I was considering when it came to this move, And like I said, it was just, he wanted to get out of where he's at. I wanted to get out where I was at. So it just kind of works out and stuff like that. So my brother likes movies. Yeah, he does. He'll join me with a bunch of movies. Yeah, I know. I think I'm going to bring back Casual Batman. I think this is a good time to bring back Casual Batman too. Like I said, it's just, I think just being in this apartment right here, it just kind of got to a point where I was like, I just like, nah, just do the things and everything like that. But now that I'm going to have all this extra space, I'm going to have a backyard, which is great. Imagine what I could do in a backyard. I have a backyard. It's a house. There's going to be like just all this extra space. So I'm like, I'm already thinking of ideas, guys. But I think I should bring Casual Batman back. Finally. Yes, I've been wanting to bring back Casual Batman, and it's about time for that motherfucker to come back, especially with all the madness that's happening with everything Warner Bros. DC. All right. So, Let's go ahead and get started, guys, and let's get started with the tweets. Let's get started with the tweets. And, well, first off, I mean, we already knew when it came to Will Smith, and him teasing about doing something when it comes to The Matrix, we already knew it had to do with something with music and everything like that. And he posted a whole video. I'm not going to show the whole video. There's a whole video of him just like, reenacting certain things about playing Neo, but essentially this is what it was right here. Music video, first look, and it was there right there with, I think his name is what? Sean? What's his name? I don't even know. I totally just, I just have the image right here, but it's for a music video called, is he named Big Sean? I forgot what this artist's name is. I'm sorry. Somebody could probably say that. But, yeah, it's just this new music video called Beautiful Scars. It's kind of funny because nobody really gave a shit. Big Sean. It is Big Sean. Thank you, Jacob. Nobody really gave a shit. Like, I saw it and everybody just kind of went, all right, cool. And that's pretty much it. It was kind of funny. I was like, all right. But I mean, I thought it was going to be a Super Bowl commercial kind of thing because we are around that time where, actors start teasing and start doing some things or, Super Bowl stuff. I thought it was going to be something more with that, but no, it's just a music video. Just a music video. And then, of course, last week, this was like Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever. Netflix just like released a ton of shit. Netflix was like, this is our day. We're going to release trailers and teases and all this kind of stuff and all kinds of things. And, probably about 75% of it, I'm like, whatever. I'm not really that interested. I'm not that excited for. Obviously, Stranger Things, I'm excited for because I've been a fan since the series debuted, back in 2015, like 10 years ago? And we're in season 5. That's what sucks. When it comes to Stranger Things, it's just the fact that it's like, it's taken so long, and I get it. There's a lot of issues that have happened, especially in the past, 5 years with COVID and the writer's strike. So a lot of things have prolonged things when it comes to, when it comes to getting this final season, which I'm very much looking forward to, and I'm sure it's going to be absolutely fantastic, and of course it's going to be epic. But I just found this funny right here. They posted this Jane Hopper, which of course 11, a missing teen poster right here. Last seen wearing a hooded jacket, walking alone in the vicinity of Hawkins High School on June 13th, 1986. Reward, of course, all of that. But I love the fact that it says 15 years old. 15 years old. Millie Bobby Brown is 20. I mean, that's what's so funny about this is like, and I made the joke, my tweet, I was like, hey, you might want to check the local bar because she might be just sitting at the bar drinking. She might be drinking age. Yeah, it's certain. I mean, pretty much all the kids, they're all like in their 20s now. That's what's so crazy. It started off, they were like 10, 11, 12 years old, and now they're all in their 20s. By this time, it's just like, wow. Hey, they can still pull it off. But the fact that it was like, she's 15, and I was like, how old is she? She's 20 years old. She's married now. And yeah, but they can still kind of pull it off. I don't know. Hey, just remember, if you go back and watch the movie Grease, they had 30-year-olds playing fucking high school students in there. So it's just kind of funny. It's pretty hilarious. Oh, and they just remake everything, don't they now, guys? They just remake everything. And, of course, they're remaking a cult classic from Mr. Robert Rodriguez. And I'm just kind of going like, all right, well, might as well, right? The Faculty is going to get a remake with Robert Rodriguez producing, and then, of course, the filmmaker who is Drew Hancock, who just made, of course, Companion, which is an excellent movie. So I have a little bit of hope. He's going to be writing the script. So I'm kind of wondering if he's actually going to be directing this as well. Who knows? But yeah, The Faculty is just one of those movies. The first time I watched Faculty, guys, I didn't watch it in the movie theaters. Robert Rodriguez has always been one of my one of my favorite filmmakers ever since I saw Desperado. Desperado was great. And then, of course, I went back, watched El Mariachi, which is what that was based off. And then, of course, he had Once Upon a Time in Mexico to complete his El Mariachi trilogy. I've always liked him because he's always, he's made ridiculous shit. What was the one with Dan Trejo? I can't remember now. But I mean, of course, like he's always like friends with Quentin Tarantino. El Machete, of course. There you go. I couldn't remember the name right there. El Machete. It was Machete. Is it El Machete or Machete? With Danny Trejo. But, they did, of course, the Grindhouse movies, him and Quentin Tarantino. So he did Planet Terror, and then Tarantino did Death Proof, which are excellent horror movies. And I thought that was great. Sin City, of course. I've always liked Robert Rodriguez as a filmmaker because he just has like a unique style to him. And The Faculty was great. And the first time I saw The Faculty, I didn't see it in the movie theater. I shit you not, like, I was in high school. I was in high school because this is 1998. I was in high school. And my buddy Steve, I went with him and his family to Laughlin. We went to Laughlin. Like, his family was going to Laughlin. They had, like, this yearly trip to Laughlin. And they invited me, and I was like, cool. And I joined, and I was like, cool. And we had our own hotel room. Like, his parents gave us our own hotel room. And pretty much gave us free range to do whatever. I mean, obviously, all we did was go to the arcades and shit like that, and everything like that. And there was one time where we just decided, like, hey, let's watch The Faculty. So we rented The Faculty. So the first time I saw The Faculty was in a hotel room in like 1999 in Laughlin. And we both enjoyed it. One particular reason why we enjoyed it, because Robert Patrick's character in The Faculty reminded us of a fucking football coach that was part of our high school, Coach Crumryan. Coach Crumryan, all right? Shit you not. When we see Robert Patrick's character, who's also a coach, the football coach, reminded us so much of Coach Crumryan. We were like blown away, like, holy shit. Steve played football. He was more athletic than I was. I tried to play baseball, which Coach Crumryan also was coaching, but he cut me, fucking asshole. Like, how dare you? How dare you? But he was also the football coach, but we were blown away because it was like, dude, he is Coach Crumryan. Holy shit. It was like a crazy thing. But yeah, the first time I watched The Faculty was in a hotel room in Laughlin right there. So that was great. It was great. Mom, you're saying, you approved me going with them. Come on, you remember that. But yeah, so that was the first time I watched it. And then, of course, I watched it many times after that. So good stuff. But yeah, like I said, when it came to Netflix movies, that they were releasing images, I think my most anticipated Netflix movie that's going to be coming out this year is Frankenstein. Frankenstein. Of course, we got Oscar Isaac right here as Dr. Frankenstein, and Jacob Elordi is going to be playing the Frankenstein's monster. But here's a new shot of Oscar Isaac right here, apparently just like showing off his stuff right here. So images, yes, that's right there, Elaine. Images. There's Mr. Isaac right there. And then golf requires goofy pants and a fat ass. Hey, there's a Happy Gilmore 2 shot right there, which is also going to be on Netflix. So obviously excited about that. There's Bad Bunny right here. Bad Bunny is playing Happy Gilmore's caddy. What? That's pretty funny. So, yeah. Good times. Yeah, so we got those two right there, and that was like, I was like, everything else was like, yeah, okay, those are the two images right there. So gotta love that. So, and Mom, there was nothing we did but roam around, go to the arcades, and if there was some some girls our age that were roaming around too. We were like, hey, that's all we did, Mom. Trust me. There was no anything else there. We went to a rodeo one time and got sick on fucking funnel cake. That was gross. Ugh. I will never eat funnel cake again. That Laughlin trip, we went to a rodeo and we decided to get funnel cake. I got one with like chocolate sauce. Steve got one with like strawberries on it. It was so huge and so big. We were eating it and we started feeling sick. And then we decided to walk back. We were like decided to walk back to the hotel. Ugh, good Lord. No, it's fine. Yeah, no, there was no like, anything like that. It was just, we went to every arcade. And then of course, being the high schoolers we were, we tried to talk to any girls that we could that were anywhere around there. But, we were not successful because we were kind of dorky. Steve had some really big ears. Anyways. I'm short. He was athletic, but he had big ears. And his last name was Martin, too, by the way. Steve Martin. Yeah. Steve Martin. That was my buddy in high school. I haven't talked to him in a long time. But he was the freshman star quarterback, I remember. But he was very athletic, had some huge ears, man. I would always make fun of him. But his last name was Martin, so Steve Martin. It was always kind of funny talking about that. So I know I should bring out the yearbook and show that. But yeah, I should try to hit him up. I know he's living still around here and stuff like that, but yeah, his name was actually Steve Martin. Shit you not. And that was like I met him in junior high. And it was like, wait, your last name is Martin? You're Steve Martin? What? And he would always get that too. Anytime, like, I remember, like, the first time I got introduced to him, it was in 7th grade. It was 8th grade. And he was in my math class. And the teacher was like, your name is Steve Martin? He always got that. It was like one of those things. It was funny, but we became friends. And, it was always one of those things where I was like, yeah, I'm like the nerdy, like funny dude. But I was like, I was friends with the star quarterback. It was like that kind of, relationship kind of thing, Cause yeah, he was a very athletic dude. I just don't know how he put that helmet on because, man, the dude had some ears. He was a stud, but he had some fucking satellite dishes sticking out of his head. He definitely did. I know. I should get back some of the my old high school buddies back on here. So, but anyways, Robert Eggers right here. Robert Eggers, come on. This is what I love. I love it when filmmakers nowadays, and Robert Eggers is one of my favorite filmmakers, one of my favorite directors that is working right now. He has not made a bad movie. In my opinion, the dude he knows tone, he knows atmosphere. Anytime I watch one of his movies, he loves the cold. He loves it cold, and he just produces like an atmosphere where I'm just like, Jesus Christ, I'm feeling it. And he, obviously, when it comes to Nosferatu, which everybody, pretty much everybody who's seeing is just loving it. Well, who's the blueprint of Nosferatu? Well, Tim Burton. Tim Burton is the blueprint that helped Nosferatu. Robert Eggers reveals how Batman Returns inspired Nosferatu. I was watching on one of these flights. I threw on Batman Returns, and like snowy gothic atmosphere of that movie it's like shockingly similar to a lot of the stuff we were doing here. That, of course, was on the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast with Josh Horowitz. He said that, and it's like, yeah, you gotta love that. I mean, like, Batman Returns, I've always had kind of like, I'm more a Batman Forever guy because there's just something about that. But, Batman Returns, it's a Christmas movie. I watch it every Christmas, and there is an atmosphere right there. And even though Gotham City is essentially in a snow globe, there is some shots, and some people have taken upon themselves to compare some shots to some shots in Nosferatu. And I'm like, there you go. Tim Burton, the blueprint. I love it. Hey, you could think it sucks. It's fine. You could think it sucks. But you know what doesn't suck? You know what doesn't suck? A Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, reunion. Applesauce, bitch. That's right. This is called R.I.P.D., right? No, it's called R.I.P. Sorry, not R.I.P.D. Oh, my God. Why did I bring up that shit sandwich of a movie? R.I.P. It's called like R.I.P. But yeah, we're Matt and Ben are playing cops right here. And we got our first shot of them. And it's like, yeah, there they are right there. And it just reminded me of, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back when they were doing Good Will Hunting 2 hunting season. So I was like, hell yeah. I'm not sure when the trailer's dropping, but I'm going to be definitely looking forward to that. But I'm like, yeah, Matt Damon, and I'm pretty sure they're producing the movie too. So that looks good. And then also it was announced as well, and I've enjoyed the first two movies. Den of Thieves 2 also has also been announced. I was wondering, I was like, did Den of Thieves do enough? Did Den of Thieves 2 do enough at the box office to warrant Den of Thieves 3? Sure enough. I just hope that this franchise does not turn into a whole like Fast and Furious where they start getting way too ridiculous. I don't know, but yeah, hopefully not. Did you guys see that? Breaking news. Neil Gaiman hit with and human trafficking suits? Human trafficking now? Oh my God. Sorry, I just saw that right there on the what the fuck? Wow. I mean, yeah. Back to Den of Thieves, I'm enjoying the franchise, and I'm glad there's more. But I just saw breaking news, and it's like, yeah, we already knew the allegations that had to do with, the R word. Human trafficking? Human trafficking now. Holy crap. I'm like looking at that. I was like, wait, human trafficking. Wow. So wow. All right. Yeah, Neil Gaiman's he's going to be thrown into a hole if all this goes through. Human trafficking. Oh my God. That's pretty insane. Yeah, he You don't know who that is? Neil Gaiman is the author of Sandman, and producer of the Sandman series. He's written a lot of books, produced shows and stuff like that. So look him up. Google him, Jacob. Come on, executive producer. You got to know this kind of stuff. So we got Scream 7. Scream 7. I still have to watch Scream 6. I've said it before. I'm not really big on the whole Scream franchise. After Scream 3, even Scream 4 was fine. I was just kind of going, where else can they take the franchise? But, I thought, relatively, they're okay, when it came to Scream 5 and they were trying to introduce another character and trying to further the franchise, and then the way that they tied it to the original franchise, I was like, all right, fine. It worked out, and people love these movies, perfectly fine. I still have to see Scream 6. I have not seen it yet because I just was not interested. But now that we have Scream 7, and we remember what happened when it came to the whole Melissa Barrera controversy with all that stuff, and the original director walked off all of that, and they decided okay, we're not going to do that because of all that, because of the whole stupid stuff, political stuff, which I'm just so sick of that being ruining people's thing, I just hate that shit. I'm like, just let her continue. She'll probably be back eventually. I would assume that if there's going to be, obviously there's going to be more sequels, I assume she's eventually going to come back, and her and Jenna Ortega will probably come back. But at the same time, it's like, they're not going to be in the next one. And then it was kind of like a whole thing where Neve Campbell shouldn't do the next one. And then there was that controversy with her saying she wasn't, they didn't offer her enough to do it. And then all of a sudden, I guess they offered her enough, and now she's coming back and everything like that. But then somebody else is coming back, and that is Matthew Lillard. He is coming back. He is 100% coming back to the franchise. And where's that shot? Skip the ad. Come on. He posted that or they have it in there. There we go. He posted this on his Instagram, saying my mom and dad something. Yeah. So he posted that and saying that he's back. Stu is back. Stu is back. Well, he did say he would be right back in the first one, right? So Stu is back. And I'm just kind of wondering, okay, we saw the TV land on his head, right? We saw that. He died. Obviously, he was, spoiler alert for a fucking movie that's been out for 20 years. He was one of the killers, or, not the main, but, he helped be one of the Ghostface killers. And he died. Now he's going to be back. So now you kind of wonder, okay, so are they... Part of me was kind of going like, are they going to do like some kind of weird alternate universe thing, maybe? But then I thought too, and I think some people were talking about it on my Twitter feed. It was like, well, what? I saw somebody, I can't remember who, mentioned, what if they're going to do the whole thing and technically the Scream franchise could actually work with this kind of idea. Do you guys remember Wes Craven's New Nightmare, which of course was a sequel to, Freddy, to, Nightmare on Elm Street? And he basically said, all right, I want to do another Freddy movie. This was in the late 90s, where it's not a direct sequel to all that, but it's very meta, and it's essentially the actress, obviously, that is, I can't remember her name, the main actress in the Nightmare on Elm Street series is like, she's the actual actress, and Freddy is so powerful that he's actually coming through the movies. Like, Robert Englund exists in the world. Like, it's all just like, oh yeah, she's promoting, yeah, this is what I'm, all about. I'm all about, I'm an actress and I made these movies. But then Freddy ends up coming through the movies. So it gets very meta. And I'm kind of going, is this where they're going to take the Scream franchise? And they're going to start bringing back some more OGs? Because that one dude who was like the killer in, I think, Scream 3, Scott Wolf? Is that what his name is? I can't remember. He's also going to be coming back in here. So I'm just kind of wondering. Yeah, thank you, William. Heathery Landcamp. But I'm just kind of wondering, are they going to do that approach? Which could work. It could work. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. This franchise is being held by a thread after that whole controversy, so I'm just kind of wondering. If they're going to do something like that. I don't know. Guess we'll see. But he's back. He's back, baby. He is back. Let's see. Oh, yeah, and you know what? Somebody actually asked me on Twitter if I'm going to talk about the, the whole Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, Justin Baldoni thing. I do, and I think I'm going to talk about it on Wednesday's show, and I'm going to talk about more of the Emilia Perez controversy too. Well, I'm kind of saving that for Wednesday because I was like, Monday I'm going to dedicate it to what's happening, normal Monday show. But I think on Wednesday I'm going to talk about that. It just seems like there's something new every day. But I think, somebody asked me about that. And I think I'm going to talk about it more on Wednesday because it just seems like there's more and more that's happening. And to be honest, Justin Baldoni is looking way better than Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, okay? I was like at first I was like, oh, what is this bullshit, blah, blah, blah. The only thing that I've talked about when it comes to this situation, I hated the part that they're in the lawsuit, the whole bullying, because Nice Pole is apparently like making fun of Justin Baldoni, and I was just like, that's stupid. Why are you going to have that in there? But I'm going to talk about that more. I'm going to talk about that more on Wednesday. I'm going to have dedicated a topic about that because things just keep coming about. And I think finally it's getting to the point where it's like, oh shit. It seems like Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively are not looking good when it comes to this whole thing. So, and then, the Emilia Perez thing, I talked about it on the opening of Friday's vodka stream, I talked about, some of the things that were her tweets, that got deleted. Her whole account got deleted. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about that because she had a new interview when it came to all this. So I was like, ugh. I don't know. Well, yeah, like I said, yeah, Stephanie, yeah, there's things, but I was like, you know what? I'm not going to dedicate that to Monday's show. I might push that to, I'm going to push that to Wednesday. So we'll see what happens. There's just a lot of things, and it seems like there's just some weird shit that's going on with that. But one of the things that I was talking about, obviously, when people were mentioning it at the opening, yeah, this was part of the Fire Aid concert right here, where a Nirvana reunion, and then, of course, there's Dave Grohl right there behind the drums. There's his daughter right there, Violet. And they played All Apologies on this one right here. So good. Not sure who this woman is. I think she sang in the previous song, but yeah. All apologies. Pretty sweet, Always nice to see stuff like that, so pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. But yeah, nice little Nirvana reunion happened. We got, let's see, Richard Cetrone. You guys know who Richard Cetrone is. Somebody was kind of asking about, he posted this right here that, obviously we had the Joker card right here. The Joker card that was in the Nightmare scene when it comes to Zack Snyder's Justice League, and Richard Cetrone replied that he did get one. He's got one right there that, of course, was, pretty cool that they, used that Joker card right there from, like, the first Joker appearance right here. So, does this card look familiar? So, that's pretty sweet. Although that Snyderverse X account, that's a rough account. That's one of the crazy accounts. Just saying. Hey, I'm not going to try to judge on too much, but let's just say, like, somebody, who does also YouTube and stuff like that. That account called that guy Hitler, and it was kind of weird. So just kind of shows you that some of those, some of the Snyderverse accounts just get a little too crazy, calling people Hitler and everything like that. I don't know. Anyways, moving on. So speaking of Neil Gaiman, of course, who, Sandman is his baby. Netflix has officially announced that the Sandman has been canceled, with the second and final season premiering later this year. So no shock there that, and I'm kind of wondering too, like when it comes to that, would there have been a season 3 anyways? I'm just kind of wondering, like, maybe there would have been, I don't know. It does kind of suck that, everybody involved. The series is great. First season was great. Very well done. It does kind of suck that it's like, okay, just because, one of the creators or one of the people that was, like, very much involved with that, it sucks that it's like, okay, because that guy's a piece of shit, we can't just, like, continue what that's what happens when it comes to all this stuff. Everything's very reactive. I question whether, would there have been a season 3 anyways? Maybe not. But at the same time, it's like there probably could have been, because there's so many books. There's books that they could have still continued and maybe went a couple more seasons, but yeah. But then they're just like, nope, we want no association. That's fucking stupid. I kind of think that's kind of stupid. I don't know. Sometimes it's like, hey, the guy's a piece of shit. Don't acknowledge him. But hey, the content's still there, and there's a lot of people involved that made live action stuff pretty good. I don't know. And then, yes, guys, I showed this on the Vodka stream, but I want to show you guys here just in case you didn't tune into the Vodka stream on Friday. But if you guys, obviously Scott McClellan and I, we do DC Fanimated every Wednesday at 8 o'clock Pacific time. So after Film Junkee Live on Wednesdays, we do DC Fanimated, where we talk about, we're going through the whole DC animated shows. We're going through all of them. We got done with Batman the Animated Series. That's what we started with. That's what initially what the stream was all about. It was just going to be Batman, and that's it. But we decided, hey, let's just talk about Superman. Let's talk about all the DC animated shows. And last week, we got to Batman Beyond. And naturally, we needed a new beginning, a new intro for Batman Beyond because, Batman Beyond is just, let's face it. Batman Beyond is one of those shows that became, well, it got into the comic books. It became like part of the Batman lore. And so then naturally I reached out to Mr. Alessandro Mascashai, who did the intros for our Batman intro and our Superman intro when it came to DC Fanimated. So I was like, hey, can you do a Batman Beyond intro? So he came up with this, just in case you guys did not see this. Here it is right here. Good shit. Love it. Yeah. That's the best of all the intros. That really is. The best of all the intros right there that he's done. Yeah, that's Mr. Mask of Shire right there. Mr. Alessandro did a great job with that intro right there, so. Yeah, of course, man. Oh yeah, it was like one of those things where like when Scott was like, hey, Batman Beyond's coming up. I was like, yep, all right, we'll get a new intro. And then I was like, all right, you're definitely old Bruce. You're going to have the cane and the suit. I'm going to be the Terry version. So that's what I told him. And he fucking knocked it out of the park right there. That's so cool. So cool. Cartoon Dave is scarier than real life Dave. That's right. Until you meet me. And yes, guys, so Christopher Nolan has added more to his Odyssey cast. So first off, of course, we have Elliot Page, who's going to be joining. So we get a little Inception reunion when it comes to them two right there. And then we get Himesh Patel, who's also joining. He's been in numerous things. We get Bill Irwin, and we get Samantha Morton. So they have also joined right there. So 4 more have been added to the Odyssey cast. Stacked right there. And that's currently being filmed right now. Pretty crazy. And it's going to take a little bit, so it's going to be interesting. And then, of course, there are planes falling from the sky. That was happening. That happened last week as well. I don't know if you guys saw that. In Philadelphia, a plane just like fell out of the sky and landed on a public street, and there's all kinds of videos. Did you guys see that shit? There's like a better one, but this was like one of the videos that was taken right here. It was just like boom, it would look like a bomb went off right there. It's absolutely insane. And there was like a Ring doorbell one that of like a couple, they were like leaving their house, and you see it like just like freaking. It didn't look like a plane. Like when you see some of the videos, it looked like it just. And I was like, I started putting on that tinfoil hat. Just like they said, a plane hit the Pentagon on 9/11, and I'm like, a lot of people are like, really? That was a plane? A plane just got to like almost ground level and hit it head on? Okay. Let's not turn this into a conspiracy stream. Trust me, I'm like, jeez. Because it can. Let's talk about Zack Snyder. Okay, let's talk about Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder had a fun weekend. That's right. Zack Snyder, he went overseas. And I'm kind of wondering, okay, we heard about the LAPD movie that he's going to be doing for Netflix, but this UFC movie, I'm kind of thinking that the UFC movie might actually be coming first. I don't know, but we have this right here, an image of him with a group of people right here. Obviously, you have him with Turkey, a la Sheik. He said, with my dear friends Dana White, Nick Khan, Zack Snyder, and Rodrigo Lorenzo, if there is one thing that I'm sure of, is that 2025 will be a crazy year, and I mean it. Stay tuned for 4-5 big surprises that are massive, different, and groundbreaking. And of course, one of them is the reason why Zack Snyder is in the picture, not as a fighter. We will announce soon. So there he is right there. I do love that Zack has his just camera with him. He's always got that with him, just standing there with him. And he's like, all right there next to him, holding his camera. Love that. And then Zack posted, let's see, where are we at right here? And then he posted this right here on Vero. Zack posted this right here on Vero. Fun stuff brewing. Same image. Pretty cool. Love that. Yeah. Kind of thinking the UFC movie is going to come out first. That's my opinion. I think that's going to come out first, and I think this is just something that's just been in the works for a while. I think it's going to be something pretty special and something pretty freaking huge. That's what I think. I think it's going to be big because the UFC is just huge. It's big. It's big. And the fact that Zack Snyder is going to be directing something like that, oh my God, inject that into my veins. I'm not like the biggest UFC guy, but I'll watch UFC. I got friends who are totally diehard UFC fans, and there's times where I've gone to their houses and watched UFC. It's fun. And it just seems like Zack is kind of going to be perfect for that. So I feel like this has been a tease. I know, it's been teased for so long, right? It was a medic plane. That's right. You're right, Ben. Yeah, it was like carrying like medical things and stuff like that. It's so weird. God. Well, just like 2024 started off crazy. 2025 is like hold my beer. My God. I'm telling you. Yeah, 2024 started off a little crazy with that whole Miami and the fucking big, huge aliens that everybody was claiming. And then Cat Williams just revealing that P. Diddy's going to be going down. And then he did, and then it was, I don't know, it was just, 2024 started off like, oh, okay, some crazy shit was happening then. But then, 2025 just starts off with planes falling out of the sky. And all this kind of stuff, and fires, and all this kind of, Jesus Christ. I will not accept this, Guy Pearce. I will not accept this. When I saw this, I was like, oh, Guy Pearce, nah. Guy Pearce. Guy Pearce, of course, starred in Memento. Memento, directed by Chris Nolan. This is the movie. Guy Pearce is, he was started. Memento is the movie that put Christopher Nolan on the map relatively. I mean, he had a movie that came out. Christopher Nolan's first movie was called like The Following. I think it was called The Following or Following or something like that. Black and white. Very, very low budget. Still a great movie because it's Christopher fucking Nolan. But when it came to Memento just, for me, like as just a lover of storytelling and filmmaking, you don't even know. Like I wrote like two actual scripts, which are just sitting in a box in my closet somewhere. So inspired by just the way because I think Memento is one of the most unique stories, just the way that it's told. It's told backwards. There's two stories with the same character that is told backwards and forwards. And if you see that video of Chris Nolan talking about how he crafted that, him and his brother, that just shows you how brilliant Christopher Nolan is. But Guy Pearce right here told the Times he thinks that his performance in Memento is shit. While it was playing, I realized I hate what I did. I know why it didn't work with I didn't work with Christopher Nolan again. It's because I'm no good in Memento. Get the fuck out of here, Guy Pearce. You did an excellent job. I get it. We're our own worst critics. Okay? I don't know how many times that, just ask my ex-girlfriend. How many times I was like, the show sucked. I fucked up on this. I thought, yeah. We beat each other up. We beat ourselves up, I should say. We always are like, I messed up. I did all this and stuff like that. And of course, she'd always be like, no, you did fine. Yeah. Probably one of the reasons why we're not together anymore. I don't know. No, but we just do that. We're our own worst critics. I think Guy Pearce did an excellent job in that movie. I love that. That is still Out of all the Christopher Nolan movies, I always say it's not Christopher Nolan's best movie. It's just my favorite movie. It's just my movie. It's just a movie that it's in my top 5, top 10 all-time favorite films. I just love that movie. There's just something about it. Just the way that the story is told backwards and forwards. You don't see storytelling like that. And that's why it's like one of my favorite movies. Tenet is similar, but it has it's high concept. Memento wasn't high concept. Memento was just telling you the story where the audience also didn't know what the hell happened previously with the story, just like the main character, because he has temporary amnesia. Like he loses his memory every little bit where he doesn't know what the fuck is going on. So to tell the story backwards, the audience, when you first watch that movie, you have no idea what happened prior either. You're just as lost as he is. And then in the middle of that, you're getting like a story that's being told, and then it meets up at the end. It's just beautiful. It's beautifully structured, beautifully crafted. That's why it's my favorite Chris Nolan movie. It's not his best. I would still say Interstellar is his best film. It's definitely his best film, in my opinion, when it comes to overall. And Inception is up there too, as just, because he just got better and better. But my favorite is still going to always probably be Memento. And then I got to show you this too. I know I'm like the tweets, it's Monday, and the tweets are just always taking forever. But I have to show you this. This is amazing right here. Horror fans out there, you probably saw this video right here. It's 40 seconds long. It's so quick. It's so beautiful. It's so awesome. Check this out. So good. Just kill them all. That's all you gotta do. Destroy them all. Dude, Jesus Christ. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. That is from Jaydaddy. There's a YouTube channel called Jaydaddy. That is their video. It getting tons of views. Crazy. Jaydaddy is, he said, just mildly autistic comedy show. And that was floating around. I had no idea. Never heard of Jaydaddy. Although when I went to the channel, I was like, oh yeah, I've seen some of their videos. Really good stuff right there. So shout out to Jaydaddy. That is just beautiful. I mean, so fast paced, so quick. I mean, that's the thing, is like to have all those, all those characters and just destroying them all like that is so freaking good. Just so freaking good. Yeah, I just saw that and it was just so freaking good. And then, of course, we have Megan 2.0, guys. Watch out. She's back, baby. She's coming back. We're going to get a trailer soon, of course. There she is. She look a little taller, maybe? I don't know. June 27th. Jesus Christ. So ridiculous. Whoa.
Miss me?
Got it. Yeah. Ugh. God, those eyes are just so unsettling. I enjoyed the first one. It's decent. But this one, they're taking the whole Terminator 2 vibe now. She's not going to be a bad guy in this one. Apparently, there's like a whole other system called Amelia or whatever that is trying to take over the world. That's all like being weaponized by military and stuff like that. So then they get Megan back, and then she's going to fight that. So yeah, Megan is actually going to be a good guy this time. or, you know, be the protagonist, I should say. The good girl? I don't know. I have to say this because I watched the movie last night. I watched the movie last night that you guys are probably familiar with. It's a Schumacher classic that came out in what, 2002, 2001? I don't know. Over 20 years ago. And that movie is Phone Booth. Phone Booth, starring, of course, the Penguin himself, Colin Farrell. And I was watching it. It's a great movie. If you haven't watched it, do yourself a favor, watch Phone Booth. But, you know, I was watching it and I was just kind of going like, there could have been a whole franchise when it came to Phone Booth. There could have been like a whole franchise when it came to the character of Kiefer Sutherland, if you guys remember, and the way that Phone Booth ended. And I was thinking about it, and the way that it all ends, and the way that, you know, obviously you got Colin Farrell's character being like a little dazed, and then you have Kiefer Sutherland's character who's like, oh wait, we didn't get the guy. You know? And he just kind of walks off. And I thought to myself, I was like, wait, they could have made a whole franchise on it, because essentially Kiefer Sutherland's character in Phone Booth is like, he's like Jigsaw without the fucking gore porn addiction. Because yes, Jigsaw was 100% got a little fetish when it comes to gore porn. I don't care what anybody says. Dude's got a little bit of a sickness when it comes to that. I think that was made obvious in the last Saw movie, that he likes to torture people when it comes to that. When it comes to Kiefer Sutherland's character, kind of a similar thing where it's like, hey, you fucked up. I'm going to put you in a situation where you're going to confess, you're going to do all this, and if you don't, people are going to die and all this kind of things. But it's not gore porn. It's just putting the person in a situation. I'm just kind of going like, I'm surprised, yeah. There could have been a whole, like, franchise built around that character. Could have been a whole thing, you know? So that was just one of the things I was thinking. I was like, that would have been kind of cool if there was, like, more stories where he is, like, because he does talk about within the story that he targets, like, these rich fucking pieces of shit that are doing bad things and puts them in a situation to, hey, confess your sins or else you'll die. It's like, yeah, they could have done something with that. But anyways, it didn't happen. Really good movie. Joel Schumacher, may you rest in peace. Great stuff. And then, of course, I forget that it was Groundhog's Day yesterday. And with the Super Bowl commercials, well, expect this one. That's right. Bill Murray back. There we go. Everybody came back, even his brother. But it's a Jeep commercial. We won't show the whole thing, but that was kind of cool to see. I was like, oh yeah, they did a Groundhog Day commercial thing. That's pretty sweet. I love that. So, fun times. All right, what else we got? Yeah. Buffy the Vampire Slayer fans. Hey, that's coming back, which was always teased. A Buffy the Vampire Slayer revival series in the works at Hulu. Sarah Michelle Gellar will return to star. There is some kind of ups and downs. I heard that she might not be the actual star, but she will have a recurring role. I don't know. Chloe Zhao to direct the pilot. That's cool. Yeah, so that's pretty sweet to see all that. And then, of course, we have Ki Hugh Kwan. He got he at the TCL Chinese Theater. He got his feet and hand prints right there and his signature in the cement. Well deserved. Love that. Good times. And yeah, I think. Oh, and then of course I got to talk about Denny. Villeneuve. I already talked about, when it came to Denny and Dune Messiah, and he's putting that ahead of the fact that he was going to do other projects before Dune Messiah, but then it was like, hey, we got to keep the Dune train rolling here, and I think he realized that. Not to mention, he probably got Warner Brothers going like, hey, can you do that? Can you do that earlier than you said you would? Because that was a good movie. It's getting nominated for things. Maybe do that before you do other projects, and then just wrap it up, and then it'll be good. It'll be fine. And then, of course, this is his quote right here. I felt an appetite and desire to see more and a responsibility to finish that story. So basically saying that, yes, he saw everybody's reactions and was like, all right, I better do this before I do something else. And I say good. Because why not? Just like, you're still in that Dune mode. Yeah, he's probably got like fucking 7 other projects he's going to do. But when you have something that's such a hit and people love, and yeah, even though that Dune Messiah is supposed to take place like 12 years after Dune Part 2, still, just do it, get it done with, wrap it up, and then you'll be free to do with whatever you want. And sadly, like I said, nowadays is like everybody just wants, hey, get the next thing. Let's not wait like, another 8 years or something like that. So it's good stuff. It's a good thing. Good times. So, all right, there's all the tweets, guys. Sorry it took so long, but we do have Haas McPizza. Who you got in a fight? Cavill or Corn Sweat, though? Why would they fight? Come on. Why are we even doing that? I'm not going to take part of that. Thank you for the $2 super chat, but I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how. Are you talking about the actors actually getting into a cage and fighting? Full on? Are you talking about the Superman versions of them fighting? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. That's a weird one, I guess. I don't know. Cavill, because I've only seen Cavill throw, been in movies and thrown punches, but that doesn't, I don't even know. Like, are we talking about the actual actors or the actual Superman versions? I don't know. Who cares? I've seen that. It's just like when you go on Twitter and then, of course, people want to use like the greater sign. It's like, oh, so enough time has passed. And then they do that whole thing. It's just like all to rile up. Fictional characters. First off, neither one of them would actually fight. But, I guess, do whatever. It's fine. It's fine. It's whatever. It's just silly. It's just silly fanboy stuff right there. I'm like, I don't care. I don't know. But, it's fine. Corn Sweat is taller. But, but he's a theater actor. I don't know. It seems like Cavill's more of a fighter. I don't know. He did the whole, that whole thing, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, enough with that. All right, let's talk about things. Okay, you're trying to get everybody to laugh. All right. That's fine, Haas. It's fine, Haas. Like I said, sometimes when it comes to all that, I just kind of go like, what? We're going to pin these, because I see that a lot too when it comes to Affleck and Robert Pattinson and all that stuff. I'm like, it's different versions. I don't know. What are we doing? I don't know, but we're good. We're fine. Everything's fine. But, all right, let's talk about some DCU news finally. Let's talk about some certain things. First off, I did want to bring this up because, Screen Rants in our, buddy, our vodka stream panelist, of course, we, when it came to Andy, writing an article for Screen Rant and interviewing, and of course, he's very much been in when it came to everything, when it came to CW and all that stuff. He got to, basically get some info. And we have this quote right here when it comes to Tyler Hoechlin and when it comes to, of course, David Cornsweat. Tyler Hoechlin, I'm excited because in a weird way, I've always been looking forward to the experience I was going to have with this character. It originally was going to be 2 episodes that somehow turned into 4 and then 7 and then 8 years. I've always been excited about whenever that day comes to pass the baton, and so I'm so looking forward to see what they're going to do with it. I think they're great. Of course, talking about Gunn and Cornsweat. I'm a huge fan of Guardians of the Galaxy. He's a huge Guardians of the Galaxy fan, so I can't wait to see what James has done with it. David Cornsweat sent me a really nice note before they started shooting. He's a very, very classy guy, so I wish him and Rachel and Nick and everybody there the best. And for the fans too, I just hope it's the best movie of the year. So good on Tyler Hoechlin right there. And good on David Cornsweet for reaching out. And, you know, I'm kind of wondering, like, you know, when it comes to others, you know, did he reach out to anybody else too? But I mean, obviously with Tyler Hoechlin being the latest live action Superman, hey, you know, of course they're going to reach out and have some conversations and everything. So I really like that. I like the fact that they're not, obviously there's a respect right there. There's a respect right there, 100%. So love that. And it does seem like Cornsweet is a very nice dude and down-to-earth guy, hopefully. He's a big nerd, which I love that. And so I do love the hearing all that. You know what I have seen, though, online? What I've seen online is some people have been fan casting Tyler Hoechlin as the DCU Batman, and I'm like, no, guys, come on, let's not do that. No. I've seen that numerous times on my feed. I'm like, Tyler Hoechlin. I'm like, yeah, I mean, sure. That's the thing, is like, it almost seems like any Superman or Batman actor can be vice versa, because Superman and Batman do have like a similar look. At least, you know, the dark hair, the good jawline and chin and stuff like that. Sure, you know, people were even saying, like, what if Henry Cavill ended up being the DCU Batman? But I'm like, no, I don't think they're ever going to do, like, that whole thing where a live-action Superman's going to end up being a Batman, or a Batman's going to be a live-action Superman. Although Ben Affleck did play, technically, kind of a Superman. He played George Reeves in that one movie. But, you know, I think that's the closest we're going to get when it comes to that. So, but I don't know. I've seen that and I'm like, nah, I don't think that's never going to be the case. But we have a Blue Beetle update. That's right. Also from Screen Rant right here. Everything's going to be pretty much from Screen Rant here because I was like, when I was researching everything when it comes to the DCU news that I was going to be talking about, I was like, okay, yeah. And then of course we have another article right here from friend Andy right here that's talking about Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle's DCU show gets cautious yet hopeful update from Star 8 months after the return of confirmation. So obviously Shola Maridueña, who's promoting, of course, Cobra Kai, was talking about like, okay, what's the status right here? So here is his quote. No scripts. I could say that they're working really hard on it. The whole DC fam has been really welcoming to Blue Beetle and that character, so I'm really appreciative of that. We're getting hard at work on Cobra Kai, this last season of Cobra Kai, so I haven't had a chance to peep too much on what's going on over in the Blue Beetle world. But I can say that after Superman, I'm hoping that the floodgates open for the possibility of how big that world can be. They're busy at work, honestly, so I'm glad we're both getting to do our things right now, so I'll be ready for the call whenever it happens at DC. So there you go. So yeah, it could be a little worrisome because, you know, he hasn't seen any scripts, haven't heard anything or whatever. Hasn't been like full-on confirmation, but James Gunn did say that, you know, Blue Beetle is very much a part of the DCU, even though technically he was part of the DCEU at first. But at the same time, it's like, well, you can welcome him into it because, you know, there was no definitive Batman or no definitive Superman. There was just like talks of that. There was no connection of anything. And it's like, okay, fine. And then, of course, it was announced that, yeah, they're going to do an animated series when it comes to Blue Beetle, which I think is smart because I think Blue Beetle won the hearts enough. There was enough there, I think, that people enjoyed it. And I think they gauged that. And we're like, hey, we're not going to do another live action, but animation, why not, right? Animation, guys. Animation. So I don't think we should freak out too much. And then, of course, when it comes to Superman, you know, we're going to be talking about other trailers that are going to be coming out this week. But there was this little banner right here. Hey, the Puppy Bowl. The Puppy Bowl is coming back. And then, of course, we have Superman, we have Crypto. And we're going to get a little sneak peek. And this is going to be before the Super Bowl. I think it's going to be 11 p.m. or 11 a.m., I should say. Standard Time, Pacific Standard Time. So before the Super Bowl, we're going to get the Puppy Bowl, and we're going to get some kind of sneak peek, which most likely is just going to be probably that whole, whole clip of crypto or something like that. So so I'm kind of interesting to see what's going to happen with that. And I'm like, all right, yeah, we're not going to get a TV spot or something like that, but they're going to have something before the Super Bowl. And I think, all right. And like I said, I've talked about it before. I think that's going to be pretty smart. Was Blue Beetle a hit? It wasn't like a super hit, but I think Black Red, it got enough positive feedback. So it didn't like do gangbusters at the box office, but F tier character. Okay. You slept through Blue Beetle. All right. You guys are very positive about Blue Beetle in the chat. Awesome. Love it. All right. Anyways. Now let's... Womp, womp, womp. All right. Sorry. I enjoyed it. But, I think there was, like, enough positivity at least. But, not enough to warrant more live action. But, it's all right, guys. All right. So when it comes to the whole Superman lawsuit, now on Friday it happened. We briefly talked about it. I don't think we really touched too much basis when it came to this Superman lawsuit that showed up. I think actually it was more. Was it? It was on Friday that the Deadline article dropped, and here's the Deadline article right here. Superman estate sues Warner Brothers Discovery, DC Comics to block release in key territories. So that was the article that came out. And of course, it was just kind of like, what the F? Really? After this week, after, obviously the whole controversy with Superman flying and that 3-second shot. And then, of course, there was the whole Tom Welling thing, the DUI thing. And it was just kind of like, geez, what else is going to be happening? And I was like, man, really? The Siegel and Schuster estate is suing WBD? What the hell is going on with this? And then, of course, you read it, and you read about the copyrights, the copyrights when it comes to certain territories, when it comes to Canada, the United Kingdom, Ireland, and Australia. So, there's the whole logistics on that. But here we go right here. Just in case, first off, it's not the first time. Not the first time this has happened. This has happened times before. There's always been like this back and forth when it comes to rights, because obviously Siegel and Schuster, they created the character, and there's always going to be this whole thing. And they've had problems with DC Comics for a long time when it comes to, copyrights and, getting payouts and everything like that. So naturally, there's going to be yet another Superman movie coming out. It's like, hey, guess what? You got to pay us. Same things, it's happened when it comes to other live action ones. Even happened before Man of Steel came out. There was a whole thing that happened with the estate, and they got it resolved right before Man of Steel came out. Just like they'll likely get it resolved before this comes out. It's just like a normal thing. But let's see. So, like I said, it's kind of funny because when I was researching, I was like, all right, I'm going to talk about this because there's not really much else to talk about. It was kind of funny because Screen Rant, of course, Richard Craig at Screen Rant posted an article like right before this. I was like, oh shit. They just kind of broke it down, talking about the article and explaining stuff like that. Because naturally, nowadays, in 2025, you see a headline like that, everybody just runs with it. Like, oh, Superman's doomed. Superman's not going to happen. And then, of course, people who want this movie to fail, they are like, oh yeah, fuck WBD and fuck all this there. They're going to, hopefully, they get sued and Superman doesn't come out. They don't want it. They want it to fail. So naturally, in 2025, there's going to be people that just like see that and just read the headline and be like, all right, they're screwed and blah, 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 even though they don't know like the backstory of all this stuff. But Screen Rant, of course, did this article right here that said Superman lawsuit explained why the creator's estate is suing Warner Brothers, Discovery, and DC Comics and what it means. So I'm just going to kind of go through some of the bullet points. Not going to go through every little bit of it, but yeah, basically it was saying that the estate of Joseph Schuster, of course, who is the co-creator of Superman, has launched a lawsuit against Warner Brothers Discovery and DC Comics. This legal challenge questions decades of corporate control over the Man of Steel and raises pressing issues over profit sharing and creative ownership. With Superman standing as one of the most recognizable icons in popular culture, this lawsuit is not only revisits the historical grievances, but also threatens the DCU's future. So yes, this does have an impact, and hopefully, like I said, they have plenty of time to resolve it. And they just kind of like talk about this whole thing. But I mean, that's the thing. It's like rights. And of course, like I said, Superman's been around since 1938, you know, this shit just is happening right here. So, and then when it talks about this, it says Joe Shuster's estate filed a suit on January 31st for the rights to Superman. At the heart of this lawsuit is foreign copyright law. Of course, what I just said, that the fact that, you know, when it comes to Canada, Australia, Ireland, and the UK, it's talking about copyright laws containing provisions that automatically terminate previous agreements 25 years after the author's death. So basically, it's like, hey, you got to pay us more, or you cannot release this movie in those territories, which essentially could hurt the movie's overall international box office. And it says right here, too, as Shuster died in 1992 and Siegel died in 1996, the copyright in these territories reverted to Siegel and Shuster's estate in 2017 and 2021. This brings the question, of course, when it comes to all media. And, of course, the quote from that Deadline article says, defendants continue to exploit Superman across these jurisdictions without the Shuster estate's authorization, including in motion pictures, television series, and merchandise, in direct contravention of these countries' copyright laws, which require the consent of all joint copyright owners to do so. The Shuster estate is pushing for a jury trial. In the meantime, has also asked the judge for a cease and desist order regarding new Superman projects until the lawsuit is resolved. That's why this whole thing came about. This jeopardizes, of course, the release and everything like that. And of course, WBD is going to be fighting this because they disagree with all that stuff. The lawsuit hinges on the idea that modern legal interpretations of copyright laws could supersede older contracts. So all the contracts that were made decades before contradicts all that. In jurisdictions, of course, where the law mandates a reversion of rights, the Shuster estate contends that Warner Brothers Discovery continued commercial exploitation of Superman should legally entitle the estate to a share of the profits and perhaps even partial creative control. While the estate is pursuing a relocation of the revenue from recent film releases, they are also seeking a broader reassessment of the character's ownership moving forward, which is kind of crazy because grandchildren of Siegel and Shuster are in the fucking movie. It's kind of funny. But again, they want some of that scratch. They want that scratch. And like I said, and then they break it down too in this article where they're basically saying like, yeah, this has happened before. Much of this new Superman lawsuit is based on the character's previous rights issue. When they first created this character, Siegel and Shuster sold the original story and its copyrights to Detective Comics Inc. for just $130 in 1938. That was a lot of money back then. As the hero bloomed into the biggest comic book character ever made, the pair began to resent this paltry sum and engaged in several campaigns to gain a more fitting payment, which they should. It's worth noting here that this was a common practice in the comic book industry, and Siegel and Shuster had done the same with numerous other properties. Moreover, the pair still worked and wrote for DC Comics on a very reasonable salary as the two of its top creatives. So they were like, you know, they were getting still paid and working with DC Comics. Nevertheless, issues began when it became obvious that Superman was going to make DC a lot of money. Always, you know, when it comes down to money. The first legal case began in 1947 when DC published a story depicting Superboy, a character based, of course, on an old Siegel script. As Superboy's rights had never been sold, courts ruled in favor of the pair. However, the court also ruled that DC Comics owned the rights of Superman. Siegel and Shuster settled out of court, with DC paying $94,013.16. which is an equivalent of $1 million, over $1 million, $1.2 million in 2023 for the rights of both characters. Both were fired by DC shortly after. Throughout the 1940s and 1950s, Siegel was very vocal about the displeasure with DC Comics, a matter compounded by the copyright infringement case against Captain Marvel Shazam. Captain Marvel originated and blah, 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 you know, so there was also that whole thing too. There's always just like been issues when it comes to that. So then there's like this whole thing right here, and then we jump to 1975. Siegel and numerous other industry professionals began a campaign around giving artists and writers a more fair compensation system, which is good. That's what we wanna. That's what you want to have when it comes to all this. You hear that, Marvel and Kevin Feige? Jesus. With media pressure mounting, Warner Brothers agreed to give Siegel and Schuster a yearly stipend. I don't know what that stipend. Full medical benefits and credit their names in all future Superman productions in exchange for never contesting ownership of Superman. The pair agreed, and it seemed the saga, this whole war was going to be over. After Schuster died in 1992, his family was offered the same annual benefits as he enjoyed. Siegel's family, on the other hand, sought to reclaim the Superman rights after his death in 1996. Warner and DC Comics once again negotiated and agreed in 2001 that it would pay the Siegel heirs several millions of dollars and yearly stipend of $500,000 in exchange for permanently granting the rights to Superman. So in 2001, they agreed to something else. Then in the early 2000s, both families attempted to gain the rights again. In 2003, Schuster's heirs filed a termination notice for their half of Superman's copyright, while in 2004, Siegel's family sued DC and Warner. While the judge initially ruled in favor of Siegel, the appeals court determined that in 2001, the 2001 agreement was legally binding. So all kinds of shit was happening in the early 2000s. As was the 1992 deal with the Schuster family. Now, in 2025, new developments have given the Schuster family another potential avenue. So, yeah, they're just trying to get their fucking money. That's what it is. That's what it is. That's what it is. They're just trying to get their money. They're trying to get their money. So we'll see what happens, but that's the details right there. It's happened numerous times before. I'm sure they're working overtime right now to try to work it out. And just like what happened back before Man of Steel came out and other times, they'll get it worked out and they'll get properly paid and everything like that. So that's the details. That's what's going on. I don't think we doesn't need to get doom and gloom, but the family. The family just want the money. They want the money. They're not okay with the money that they would get initially. They want more. They want more. And hey, why not? I guess give them more or figure out something. It's all pretty crazy. Yeah, but it's gonna be okay. It'll be okay. I don't think it's going to affect too much, but, if it ends up doing it, yeah, some people might not be able to see it. I don't know. Who knows? All right, moving on. Moving on, guys. Now, let's talk about these teasers. Where is this at? Where are we at here? Okay, there's the two teasers. Right there. Okay. There are the teasers. Do you guys remember back in December when people were like, what the hell? Why the hell is Superman doing a teaser to the teaser? That's weird. Well, God, they must be desperate. It's not a new concept, and now we have Fantastic Four and Jurassic World Rebirth doing the exact same thing because it's not a new concept. Crazy, right? It's only crazy when DC does it, apparently. Yeah, things haven't changed, right? When DC does something, it's all madness and something is wrong. They are desperate and whatever the fuck, just like it was back 10 years ago. Desperation. But hey, guess what? We got both Fantastic Four and Jurassic World right here. So let's check this out. So, of course, hey, there's the beautiful Scarlett Johansson. Whoa. I see a dinosaur. What? Trailer Wednesday. So that's coming out on Wednesday. But it is kind of like, hey, guys, you know, we've been wondering, is there any dinosaurs in this movie? Jokes, of course. But yeah, we get a little tail going on right here. Not exactly sure which dinosaur that is, but there is a tail right there. So we got something. So Wednesday, not sure exactly what time Wednesday it's happening. But hey, we do in fact know when Fantastic Four is debuting tomorrow. 4 o'clock in the morning, my time. Don't expect me to wake up at 4 a.m. to react to this. I'll try to get up as early as possible, guys, but I ain't waking up that early to react to this trailer. No. Sorry. Not happening. Not going to do it. So whenever I wake up and get going, you know, I'll do it before work. I'll react to it. So maybe expect it around 6 a.m. maybe. But of course, here's the Fantastic Four tease. Kids, hey, back in the 60s. Hey, there we go. We got screens, TV screens. What are we doing here? Everybody's excited. Woo! Tomorrow, 7 a.m. There it is. First off, they use like that stock laughing of children. This just shows you how times are tough right now, because even Marvel Studios is using stock children laughing audio. You've heard it. Oops. You hear it. That is like stock. It's not really them. But yeah. It's just kind of funny. I was like, oh yeah, people were pointing that out. I was like, oh wow, really, Marvel Studios, you're doing that? Not a big deal, I guess. But look at that. We got the TV screen. We got Ben Grimm right here. And we got sales special. We got a rocket going. It looks like right down here, right over here, we get is that the Fantastic car thing? That's the Fantastic Four car, maybe? Or like part of the concept? I don't know. And then not sure what's going on over here. It looks like there's like a little bit of a tower. I don't know if that's, you know, gonna be something like that, but yeah, there you go. And they're excited. They're definitely excited. The kids are excited. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Not too shabby. And then of course we get our first official poster right here, which looks really good. It's just like a button. Richard, Storm, and Grimm. That's right. And yeah, prepare for launch. So yeah, they're really leaning into that 4 right there, which is good. So, yeah, trailer tomorrow at 4 a.m. my time. There's just no way, guys. Unless I just somehow wake up. If the universe wakes me up before that, hey, I'll get up and do it. But don't expect, I do plan on doing a trailer reaction, but yeah, there ain't no way I'm going to wake up that early to do it. But now the footage looks good. Everything looks good for both. I'm looking forward to both. Yeah, I'm one of those people that I'm going, July is my summer blockbuster fucking month, you know? I know there's a lot of people out there that just don't want to enjoy summer blockbuster movies anymore, and they have this chip on their shoulder because they're like, fuck Superman, or they're fuck Fantastic Four, or even fuck Jurassic World. Some people are just so, we just gotten to a point where people just like go, yeah, fuck all that. Yeah, I'm like, no, man, July of this year, oh man, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I might see, who knows, maybe I might see Fantastic Four twice. I might see Superman twice. I might see Jurassic World twice if it's so great. I don't know. I can't wait. Super Fantastic World. That's what it's going to be. Super Fantastic World. Did you say super? You could say Super Fan Jurassic. Fan Jurassic? Super Fan Jurassic? I might have just come up with something there, guys. Super Fan Jurassic? Did I just come up with something? Maybe. Did I just combine all three somehow? Did I just Barbenheimer the whole thing? Super Van Jurassic? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Somebody put that on a t-shirt. As long as I get 20% of the profits. But yeah, so there you go. There you go. And yeah, there's going to be more trailers that are going to be coming out this week too. A lot of people, yeah, there's like some teases right before Super Bowl. Yeah, definitely going to be some more trailers as well. So can't wait. Yeah, super fantastic world. I mean, it could be that, but I was like super fan Jurassic, fantastic. I was trying to combine that. But didn't quite work. Somebody do that. Yeah. All right, let's talk about the box office. And, of course, we had 2 movies that came out this weekend. One for adults, a good adult date movie that had to do with a dude and his sex robot, which I saw and I really enjoyed. Right now, that is my 2025 favorite movie so far. I mean, I've seen Wolfman, Flight Risk, and Den of Thieves 2, and I would say Companion is number 1 with that because I really enjoyed that. But sadly, it didn't make the top of the box office. Naturally, the family film was going to, of course, do better than that one. So Dogman made $36 million. Wow. $36 million over Companion that made $9.3 million. Expected. So $40.4 million worldwide. Not sure what the budget is, but I'm sure it wasn't all that much. But yeah, you already know there's going to be a sequel already in development. And then Companion, yeah, it made 14.6, and I can't imagine that it had like a super high budget as well. It's a very small movie, not many actors, mainly in one location. So I can't even imagine this movie being more than $30 million. So we'll see what happens when it comes to the overall, but it got critical praise. It's a great, like I said, it's just a great little, like, you know, it's like a Black Mirror episode. It's well acted. And yes, even though you know that she's a robot, there are still plenty other twists and turns and some crazy shit that happens in the movie. And yeah, like I said, really enjoyed it. But yeah, so there's a box office right there. Maybe eventually I'll see Dogman, but I didn't read the books. I know Scott took his son, who was like a fan of the books, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, I hope Companion has. Oh yeah, you're right, Jacob, my executive producer. It could have legs going into Valentine's Day, and I hope it does too, because it's just a really good fucking movie. All right, guys, I've been waiting all day for this one. I decided not to watch the Final Destination trailer, the teaser trailer that came out. I posted about it, but I did not watch it. I was like, you know what? I don't think there's going to be that much to talk about, like when it comes to news topics. So I'm like, let me do a live reaction. I'm a big fan of the Final Destination movies. The first one I remember watching, I've watched all of them in the movie theaters. Actually, I don't think I watched the 5th one. I think I did not watch the final one, which had a great twist. And how it linked up with the rest of the franchise. I don't think I watched it. I think that was the only one I did not watch in the movie theater. But the first one blew everybody's balls off, and that came out in the early 2000s. That movie, I mean, talk about just like, you know, fucking with your head. Totally fucking with your head. And then, you know, they continued on, and I thought they did a relatively good job of keeping it alive. I would say probably Final Destination 4. Is that the one with the roller coaster? No, the third one was the roller coaster. Yeah, I'm trying to remember which ones. There was like the 5th one was like the final one, which linked up to the first one, which I thought was really good. But anyways, let's go ahead and watch it. You guys are going to live watch it with me. I'm sure you guys have already watched it, but I have not. So let's see what's going on. I can already tell, fucking hell. The first frame. Oh yeah, the 4th one's the racetrack. Thank you. That's when like tires like were flying in the crowd. That's right. Thank you, Jacob. Again, see, you're a great executive producer, Jacob. Just saying. All right, I can already tell. Like, oh my God, we're already like looking. What? The first frame. Like, what the hell? All right, here we go. Okay. Is there anything else? No, May 6th. Okay. So the whole emphasizing his dad in Bloodlines. So who's his dad? So that there's going to be some kind of connection with all that in the previous things. That's what I'm... But again, why do people get that piercing? I never understood. I dated a girl that had that. Didn't understand why, you know? It's like, hers wasn't a complete loop, though. She had like the half loop. Like, anyways, I just don't get that. What do they call that? The septic piercing? I don't get why people get that. It makes my eyes water. That shit makes my eyes water when I don't get that. I don't get why you get that piercing. Jesus Christ. I mean, it just seems like that could... Anyways. But yeah, so they're very emphasizing the fact that he's got some dad issues. So what does the dad have to do when it comes to the connection of death and all the... in the previous movies? That's what's going to be interesting. And I'm still thinking that Devon Sawa is going to somehow make an appearance in this movie. I just have a feeling that he's going to come back somehow. We never saw his character die. He just didn't return in the second one, and then it was just like, hey, there's a newspaper article that, yeah, he died. He died. And then you had, what's her name, Ali Lauder's character, who was in the first one. She ended up being, like, the only, like, surviving member. So, like, you know, I just have a feeling that there's going to be something there. There's got to be something there. I don't know. But, no, I'm all set for it, even though that made my eyes water. That whole thing, that teaser definitely made my eyes water with all that. But you got to come up with creative ways for death to kill some people, man. Don't talk about Pearce nips. I don't have Pearce nips. I would never do that. But Jesus Christ, I know. Hey, piercings aren't my thing. Even tattoos aren't my thing. Even though, like, there's been many times where I've thought about getting a tattoo of something, I just never pulled the trigger. But hey, to each their own. To each their own. It's not, yeah. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, like, when girls have, like, the little stud in their nose, it's cute. It looks like a shiny pimple. Sparkly pimple right there. No, I mean, that is one thing, but the loop in the, I just go, what, that you got a bunch of cartilage, it just makes my eyes water when I think about that stuff. I'm just like, anyways, all right. Let's see. Let's go through the questions right here on Twitter. I know, it's like, yeah, how do you blow your nose? I mean, there's all kinds of questions about that, you know? It's like, just seems painful. A lot of things that seem painful when it comes to all that. All right, Twitter questions. We got Eric right here. Hey, Dave, ever thought about looking at those movie scripts of yours and giving them new life? Yeah. One of them I did. I did actually make a short film that maybe one of these days I'll post. If I can find them. Those were like early days. Those were pre-YouTube days. But, yeah, I mean, I wrote like 4 full-length scripts at one point. 2 of them were heavily inspired by watching Memento. One of them I did write a story that was like backwards, but it was 2 different characters. One of them, like, you know, because Memento has like the same character and you have a story going backwards while another part of the story going forwards, and then it meets up. I decided to take that concept and I put it on 2 different characters. One's going backwards, one's going forward, and then we meet up on it. So, yeah, I mean, I thought it was pretty unique. I probably would have to look at. I think that was the only one that survived though, because one of my moves before my the box that those scripts were in got water damage, and 3 of the scripts got totally ruined, and I had to throw them out. But that particular one, which I titled Delirium, that one actually survives. So maybe I could do something with that. And actually, I was like thinking about turning it into a novel. Maybe I'll write a novel one of these days, guys. Who knows? Could be something. It's always something I thought about. Cooper Knox. With Superman, Jurassic World Rebirth, and Fantastic Four being released so close to each other, July is going to be a super stacked month. Yes. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm there every week in July. Devin Wooter, Dave, what was your reaction when you heard that the Lakers got Luka for traded Anthony Davis? That was crazy. Yeah, I'm not big on basketball, so I didn't really care. But I understood it enough where it was like one of those trades where people were like, what the fuck? So, yeah, I was kind of like, oh, interesting. But I'm not really a big basketball fan, so I didn't really care all that much. Do you think the lawsuit for Superman will affect the box office? Nah. I would say that it'll get resolved before all that and be perfectly fine, just like it was back before Man of Steel came out. Or people care. People care. I just watched the Super Mario movie 2023. What's your favorite scene? I don't know. I have to rewatch it again. I only watched it once. I need to revisit that. But there was a lot of good Easter eggs, and I really enjoyed it. But yeah, I only watched it once. I gotta put that on again. Mr. Nobody, hey Dave, it seems like the new DCU will embrace more of an ensemble course and body cop films, which I'm totally down for. Who would you like to see team up in future DC films? And outside Deadpool and Wolverine on Marvel side, who would you like to see team up? I would like to see a World's Finest. I know we've already seen a Batman and Superman technically team up, but I wouldn't mind seeing something like that. But we could. I actually wouldn't mind seeing a Batman and Green Arrow team up, just because they have similarities to each other. I don't know. When it comes to Marvel, I would like to see Daredevil and Spider-Man, to be honest. I would like to see them do a small little, Hell's Kitchen story. That'd be pretty cool. See them team up. Dylan G., The Hollywood Reporter, reveals that, according to their sources, Academy voters will have a hard time voting for Emilia Perez and The Brutalist at the Oscars due to the movie's scandals, AI controversy, and runtime. This benefits Dune Part 2 and A Complete Unknown, both starring Timothée Chalamet. So Chalamet is going to do okay. Yeah, scandals. Because the whole AI controversy, which they apparently, on The Brutalist, I already talked about this. I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. The Brutalist, because of the Hungarian accents, they used AI to help sharpen the accents. And apparently they also did that with Emilia Perez, which didn't really help because the accents still didn't sound all that great. Because again, they didn't have the three leads weren't full-on Mexican who had Mexican accents and could speak authentic, fluent Spanish. Yeah, you had, what's her name? The Carla, whatever. She's Brazilian. Zoe Saldana was Puerto Rican and Dominican. And Selena Gomez, I think, is kind of a half-breed like me. Part Mexican, part Italian and European or something like that. So not full on, but she was the closest one. But her Spanish her accent was just eek. Mr. Nobody, if Superman can get drunk, can he be arrested for flying under the influence? There's a little bit of a riddle right there. That's a good one, Mr. Nobody. I don't think anybody's going to try to arrest Superman for getting drunk. And, that version of Superman very much was all about the drink in Superman 3. Something tells me that actually Superman can't get full-on drunk. Well, Emilia Perez is one of those movies that just demands respect for existing while being unauthentic. Yeah, and genuine. Yeah. Ugh, you're right about that one, Jacob. Good Lord. Yeah, I'm going to talk more about that and the Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively, and Justin Barlanti, whatever his name is. Can't remember. I'm going to talk about more about that. I'm going to talk about those controversial stuff because it just seems like every day there's just new things that are happening with both of those movies. I'm going to talk about that on Wednesday's show. And just kind of see where everything's at. It's not looking good for Emilia Perez and the star and even the other stars. Not looking good for any awards that it's going to get either. And it's not looking good for Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively. I'm not going to lie. Just looking at everything, not really looking good when it comes to them. Not saying it's perfectly on Justin's side, but, it's just not really looking too good when it comes to them. But we'll see what happens when it comes to that. Anyways, guys, That's all for today's show. Great Monday show. Always fun catching up on everything when it comes to the weekend. Hit that like, thumbs up, guys. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. If you want to become a member, support the channel by doing so. Do that. We do a members-only stream after every Wednesday show. Got the Patreon, of course, if you want to become an executive producer of all these streams. Subscribe to the Patreon, support everything with all of that. And yeah, guys, have a good rest of your night. Have a good Tuesday, and look forward to my trailer reaction to Fantastic Four. It's not going to be at 4 a.m. my time. I could guarantee you that. I'm not waking up that early. Sorry. If it was a movie that I was a little bit more excited for, maybe. But yeah, I'm not going to get up that early for it. So look forward to it. I'll have it up sometime tomorrow morning. And but other than that, I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Love ya. Talk to you later.